because less than 3% of you people read books. Listen to me. Television is not the truth. Television is a goddamn amusement park. Television is a circus, a carnival, a traveling troupe of acrobats, storytellers, dancers, singers, jugglers, sideshow freaks, lion tamers, and football players. We'll tell you anything you want to hear. We lie like hell. We'll tell you any shit you want to hear. We deal in illusions, man. None of it is true. You're beginning to believe the illusions. This is mass madness, you maniac. In God's name, you people are the real thing. We are the illusion.
What's up? What's up? Welcome to Internet by Television. We have a show tonight with it's about open conversation.
There we go.
I'm lost. Thank you for joining. My name is Weepy.
Troy Everett.
And DJ Drumtastic, y'all. Thanks for joining in.
Yeah, thank you for joining in. Well, we're going to jump into open conversation in a second, but we got to tell you guys we still have the Idiotbox contest going on.
Yes, what's up?
Win a hat, a hoodie, and yoga pants for breast cancer awareness giveaway. All you have to do is subscribe to the Idiotbox Television YouTube channel, comment on any of our videos, and leave a like. If you're already subscribed, you've got one of the things out of the way. All you have to do is comment on any of the videos and leave a like. We can see who's doing it, and we will pick winners, and we'll announce them on October 28th.
You said, tell them again what you said. Subscribe and what?
Subscribe, like, and comment on any of the videos. One of our past videos. This has got to be on YouTube. The Facebook does not count.
YouTube.
Yeah, on YouTube.
Open
Mr. Ricardo Cortez, my man.
Joining.
Thanks for joining in all the way from Detroit, Michigan.
Oh,
yes, we're having an open conversation today. If you have any ideas on what to talk about or would like to talk about something, man, come on. We always love to have you on, or shoot us a open conversational piece.
You can't talk tonight.
I can't talk tonight, man.
You can also comment. You can comment and type it out if you don't want to come on. But if you do come on, make sure you have your camera on and also have your lights on, so that way I can read your lips.
Yeah, we want to make sure he can clearly read your lips. Like we said before, we've probably got the only deaf host on the internet.
Yes, we do.
And he reads lips very well. So make sure you have your lights on or very well lit.
I just put up the green room link for anybody who wants to come into the green room. Like you said, all lit up and all that good stuff. Who we got? Hey, Cherie, what's going on?
Day was pretty good. Pretty good. We got Cherie on. We got Shay Goodman Malloy. Hey.
Hey. Thanks for joining in. We're having an open conversation. Put out there what you want to talk about. Cherie, I know you got something good to talk about, or maybe both of y'all, you and Shay. Now, I just put the link out there, so if one of y'all want to come on, you're more than welcome. But if not, get your typing fingers going on. Go ahead, Cherie.
One of these days, I think that we have the audience to ask us questions, so that way you can figure us out. We can tell you, we can answer you guys' questions.
Sharif, you ain't got no icebreakers
tonight? Oh yes, I do. I do have some icebreakers.
Get your icebreakers out.
I'm gonna grab one.
And make sure you guys also share this video.
Yep. I just grabbed one right here. It says, "What is your favorite part about being your age?"
Woo. Go ahead,
What
Troy.
is what is the favorite part about being your age? The favorite part. That's a good one. That's a good one. What's the favorite part about being 51 years old? I made it to 51.
Okay. Let me think. Man. Read the question again.
What is your favorite part about being your age?
The favorite part about being my age. I'm more laid back. I don't know. I'm just more laid back now. That's the favorite part. Just being more laid back and just smarter. More laid back and smarter. Okay, what we got? Oh, Cherie said, that's a good one, Reef. That's a good one. Christy, thanks for joining in, Christy. What's the question again, Sharif? I'm slow. I'm slow tonight. Sharif got a question while I'm looking into other people.
The question is, what is your favorite part about being your age?
What's the favorite part about being your age? Sharif said, being a grandma.
Oh, that's a good one. That's a good one.
I could say that one too, being a grandparent.
Yep, I got mine. I have to say, got wiser.
Oh, hey Sheena, thanks for joining in. Shay said hey, and Shay said not being a grandma. That was a good icebreaker. What's up? What's up, Mr. Haywood? What's the favorite part about being your age? That's our icebreaker for today.
Yeah, that's a quick icebreaker.
Part about being your age. Okay, here we go. I'm a lot wiser, more patient, understanding. I still don't take no shit. Okay.
Oh man.
Okay.
Brand said being retired for 6 years.
Man, I wanted to use that one, but I talk about being retired too much, so I didn't say nothing. Okay, Sheena got one.
Super grateful for making it to see 50 years old. I'm expecting to live a long life in Jesus' mighty name. Amen.
Amen.
I'm the matriarch at 50. Yes. It's a good one. I'm glad Brian's on here because one of the topics we're going to talk about in the open conversation, I know a lot of people don't really want to talk about it, is going to be the Palestinian Israel dust up.
What did you call it?
Dust up.
The dust up. Okay.
It's a war. It's a war. It's a full out war. And
but before we get all into that, we'll talk about that, right? We're gonna get into the merchandise. Now, guys, we giving away some stuff with some, what are they called? Some yoga pants or something? I don't know what they called.
Yeah, yoga pants.
Yoga pants. But we got all kind of different stuff. Come on out and support. If not, we'll just keep buying it for ourselves. Now, wait a minute, y'all. It ain't like we don't get this stuff for free. We pay for the stuff. We don't just have shirts in the closet chilling, waiting to put on. Get the same damn black shirt I done had since we started the show 2 years ago.
Yeah, so we got the breast care awareness.
Breast care aware?
The breast cancer awareness unisex hoodie, limited edition, starting at $24.50. We got them in black, charcoal gray, light gray. We got them in baby blue. We got them in, that's an ugly ass color, but we got it in that color too. We got them in pink and white. So
the white was nice.
Yeah, make sure you go in it, and then if you want to, you can get the matching hat.
You can get the
you can coordinate. We even got, since it's close to deer season, we've got the camo. Hide from the deer and support breast cancer awareness. We've got the dusty gray, and there's that ugly. Yeah, I don't know why I put that on there, but hey, somebody might like it.
Somebody will like it.
But yeah, go there, grab some of the merch.
Man, where'd that go?
So let's see, we got we lost where we at? Let's see, let's catch up with some of these comments. Sheena says, yes, Breon, I'll be retired at 55, Lord willing. Christy Polk says, my favorite part is not being responsible for anyone. Grown kids. That's the second one that said grown kids. Now all I need is a grandbaby and life would be perfect.
What's it up?
Shay says, oh yeah, I'm kind of retired already. Forced retirement. Oh, there's the man of the hour, Art Ryan. Art, we got our salsa, man. Haven't tasted it yet. Packaged, looks great. This weekend during the football games, I will be tearing that salsa up.
Art, check it out, Art. I gotta go on and just do it right now. Art, there it is. That's funny. I had to get a picture so I can show you what's up. Appreciate it, Art.
Yeah.
I ain't opened it yet. I just got it chilling. I'm like, I don't even want to open it. I just wanted to just sit there. All right, am I supposed to refrigerate it up or what? Tell me what I'm supposed to do.
Oh, I'm just now
eat it.
I'm just now seeing that they're all different. I want to say thank you, Arthur.
Thank you.
And you know what? I tried one of them just before the song.
Oh, you did?
Yeah, I tried one of them. Me and my wife was eating some before we got on the song, and I don't know what kind that was, but it was good. Yeah, thank you.
Yeah,
Man,
thank you, Art.
thank you.
And if you guys wanted to see how Art did that, everything came from his garden. We have an episode. You can see Art and his wife on there on the picture. His wife wasn't in the garden, but he gave us some tips on how, basic tips on how to start your garden, what you should do. It's a really good informational show. So go ahead and check that out.
Right.
Chrissy says, Art, your girl needs some salsa. Thank you, Art. The packaging was the bomb.
Man, the packaging was the bomb.
You know what? The way it was wrapped up, and the glass wasn't going to break.
Yes, and they sealed, so you can't open it up like you usually do. That pop off. You gotta kind of
pop it out.
Oh man.
Yeah, he says, okay, they're okay the way they are right now. Drummy says you just have to refrigerate it after you open it.
I figured that.
Sheena said, I ate the dill peppers too.
The dill peppers too.
Nicole can't wait for them.
He says, your girl needs some salsa. How do I order some?
Oh, shoot. She'll order some.
Driving. Yeah, okay, Art. If you're driving, just go ahead and listen. Don't be texting and driving, man.
No, don't.
Okay.
Just listen to us. We're just shouting you out. Thank you for the salsa. And now you got a whole bunch of people wanting some too. So,
man, wait till we all done ate some and we like, ooh. But yeah, Art, we
I specifically said, Cherie said, I specifically said I wanted some salsa, and you're on here bragging. It's all good though. I got y'all number. This is the season of sharing, I thought. Oh.
Hey, you was on the show. Sorry. You were supposed to speak up for your salsa. We spoke up for ours. No, you
gotta say it.
No, Chloe ate it all. For some reason, it fell off the counter, and Chloe ate it, licked it all off the floor. Dang.
She said, I did, Negro. She did say it. All right, we're gonna have to get Cherie some salsa. Put that on the to-do list.
Oh man. She said go back and check
the receipts, please.
Okay. Now, one more thing we got to do about this time, y'all. You know, like where'd it come from? Like we always do about this time.
If you are a small business owner or an entrepreneur, make sure you join the Facebook group, The Blacklist. We put it together for a whole bunch of people, including you, family, friends, anybody that you know that's an entrepreneur, has a business, to network with other entrepreneurs and business owners, show your products and services. It's growing quickly. People are getting leads off it, connecting with really good people. Make sure you go ahead. If you're business minded, if you're not business minded, and you just want to work at the dump truck place all your life, then it's not for you.
Not the dump truck place.
Yeah, the dump truck place. I couldn't come up with anything brilliant, so hey, I just said the dump truck place.
You've been fumbling the whole show.
The whole show, man. No, man. I had the grandchildren today. I'm tired.
Oh man, that is funny. Take a deep breath.
Okay, bet.
Wait.
Okay, bet. Art, game on. Oh man, we got people going after art and this salsa.
Anyway, y'all, the Blacklist. Like he said, there's a bunch of businesses. Lately, I've been putting some spots I go to with some live bands and all that. That's part of the whole process of the Blacklist too, is help market and advertise businesses and restaurants, etc., etc., etc. So any of your friends and family or yourself have a business, starting off, big business, small business, medium business, put it up in there. I'll put the link on. Where we at? When you place an order, how long for delivery? She's still talking about that damn salsa? It ain't no company or nothing. He just gets some from home. He just growing it at home. He ain't got no farm.
Yeah, he grew a special tomato plant to show you how to do it on the show, and he took the tomatoes from the Idiotbox tomato plant and made us some salsa.
Yeah, it was for us. Idiotbox, the staff. We are Idiotbox, and we're the staff. So, Jonathan, please go back and read Art's previous message. What did he say?
Oh no, what did Art say?
Did I miss it?
Oh, he said, oh my bad.
I'm at a
red light. Troy, whoever buys the most merch this week, I'll send them a care package.
There you go right there. There you go right there. There you go right there, ladies and gentlemen.
That's a good one.
When you place an order, how long for the delivery?
There you go. Repeat that.
Back and read our previous message. No hoodies. What do you mean no hoodies? We just showed hoodies.
Yeah, going back to the site.
Troy is doing what did he say? It just moved. Where'd he go? Potato. Troy is doing the zinger today. Sharing is caring, Sheena says.
Yeah. So here, I'm gonna put up the links.
Going on the site tonight. I'm buying merch. Oh man, so look, he's driving traffic.
I'm about to put the link up again right now. It's underneath on the screen, you guys, and it's also in the section. She was talking about how long it takes to get the hoodies. Oh,
two to 3. If you order from the site, it takes 2 to 3 weeks to be delivered.
See, it's a lot of people we can't see that comes on. From my phone, I can't. Marche Brown is on. Thank you for joining in, Marche. Delivery for the hoodie, geez Louise. She is trying to win the care package. Look, she said, thank you, Marche. Okay, so there goes the link. There goes the link. So you can't say you don't see the link, and it's also at the bottom of the screen. For t-shirts and hoodies and other merchandise, go to www.troyeverett.net and click shop. What did Art say again? Let's go back and get the words right. Word for word. Bam. Whoever buys the most merch this week I'll send them a care package. Now, what does this week consist of, Troy? Today's Thursday. So is it from Thursday to Thursday?
Thursday to Thursday. It's 7 days. That's a week.
Thursday to Thursday.
Appreciate that, Art. Really do.
What'd he say? Heck, they'll have their salsa before they get their merch. Go on, Art.
Yeah, we got Art said we'd have our salsa, man. We got it right away.
See how black folks is? They don't want to buy nothing regular. Then when somebody want to give them something free, not everybody want to go buy.
You got to give them the hookup.
You got to give them the hookup. They either want it for free. Boy, I mean to tell you.
Well, speaking of that just brings me back to what I seen earlier today.
What?
Sexy Red eating Popeye's chicken on a private plane. Sexy Red, the rapper.
About her sexy. First of all, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna be brutally honest since this is open conversation. She just looked like a little roach. Oh.
We got Mr. Ortiz.
All right. Go and pull him on in. I'm trying to read some of these comments.
Hey. Man, it looks like
so is this the part where I get the free salsa?
Oh man. Wait a minute. Christy said, Troy, she was still waiting on the t-shirt that she won.
Christy is?
Yes.
Yeah, we got 2 people waiting on t-shirts.
It's all Troy's fault. It's all Troy's fault. I'm gonna blame it all on him.
What's going on, Mr. Cortez?
Yeah, Mr. Cortez, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to
No, you're good. No worries. I don't want to be legally compliant or accomplice in this scheme about not having the t-shirt. So I'm gonna just stay to the side. I'm okay. Like I think that t-shirt comes. I think that t-shirt comes with some salsa engraved on it too. So
Man, you in a spot. I like where you at. You is in a nice attic. Oh my goodness, ain't you?
Basement. But same principle. I am isolated from society, and no light enters my dominion. Only my computers. And no the decorations in the background.
I love it. That's where I'm at, in the basement, in my section. Stay out. Ain't that right? Stay out.
Absolutely. I think for everybody that works in media, it's a must that there's no light admitted to where you work in that space. So it happens. But I guess that's the benefit of being in Michigan.
Yeah,
that's right.
That Michigan basement. That's what she's at.
So what do you know about Sexy Red and her eating Popeyes on a private jet?
Me? Not me, right? I have no idea. But if you fill me in and
do you know who Sexy Red is though?
No. I will admit, no.
It's probably good that you don't.
Yeah, it's good that you don't. It was just something that we thought we'd talk about.
She's just a ratchet rapper, and she's on her private plane eating Popeye's chicken. We just thought, if you can afford a private plane, would you be eating Popeye's chicken?
Well, in full honesty, guys, Trump eats KFC in his private jet. So, give and take.
There you go.
I guess
you shut us up on that one. Next, let's talk about something else.
Well, since we got Ricardo on here, I really want to get to this one.
Okay, go for it.
Israel and Palestine.
Oof.
Oh,
I heard the open conversation topic, and I think I walked into that one. Okay.
Yeah, you walked right into that one.
Right.
Yeah, we got a lot of Zionists out there, a lot of Christians that are really gung ho for the state of Israel.
Yeah.
But are we only hearing one side of the story?
I think it's a very interesting topic, right? Because Israel and Palestine, the way that the topic is being approached and talked about it in society, I think it reveals a bigger concept in society, right? And it reveals a bigger issue that we have, both, right, in the state of how communication is handled nowadays. And we go back to the topic of how social media and the fast communication sometimes does not allow for an ample conversation of the topic, right?
Right.
I think one of the most important parts, and I say this, right, coming from a household that my mom is a pastor, and that's one of the issues that I'm actually trying to handle right now, how we have this conversation, right? Because there is a big religious component, and there is a social component, and there is a political component. And sometimes, depending on the circle that you're at, not all of those components are talked about at the same time.
Right.
With that being said, too, I think some people in my generation and younger, right, with the justification that they have little trust in the government or in the institutions, they land on the side of the social context of supporting Palestine in terms of the freedom.
Right.
With that being said, right, we have to make a clear distinction that Hamas might be part of Palestine, but not all Palestine fits
It's
in
part of
with
Hamas.
Hamas. Okay,
Right.
so there's those two elements that we have to take in a considerable argument that we could be making. The second thing is that there's also a component of there is a government of Israel, right? The government of Israel that does not represent the feeling of all the people in Israel. That means that Netanyahu and the regime or the philosophy of Netanyahu is part of Israel, but does not represent the whole of Israel. And there are active people right now in Israel defending Palestine and asking for peace in Palestine. And let me say the following, because I think it's important to mention it, right? I think it's important for everybody to out loud, outright, and inarguably say that they are opposed of any kind of violence. Right. I cannot condone nor support what Hamas did in Israel. But that being true, it's also true that I cannot support what Israel has been doing against Palestinians. Exactly. And see, and there's an idea, right, that when you condemn both of them, you're entering into a realm of anti-Semitism or anti-Muslim, and that shortens the conversation. That does not allow us to have an expansive conversation about human rights, equal rights, and it's an attitude that is dangerous for social conversations, even in the United States. Because when we talk about these conversations of social justice, right, Black Lives Matter, and all of these movements, right, that Native Americans, Latinos, Hispanics, if our attitude is not to dig into the details and into the elements that are right, that are those shades of gray when we're talking about these elements, then we cut ourselves short of two things. First, being effective in our conversation to come up with solutions, real solutions. And second, we missed out in the ability to dig for the truth. And again, it's not that truth is it's a goal that it's easy to get to. And I cannot even state that getting to the full truth is actually an achievable goal, but the responsibility to try to get as close as you can to the truth is unescapable, and it's a responsibility that we all have as a human being, right, in the form of consciousness that we can agree or disagree in terms of the characterization, be it religion, be it social, again, or be it political. There is an inescapable fact, and is that we all have the responsibility to move towards the goal of truth, acknowledging that sometimes we may miss the mark, but that does not get us off the hook in order for us to try and really try.
Right. So a lot of it, like you said, there's several components, geopolitical issues that you have in there. Then you have the religious issues. Let's say you take let's say you take it from one aspect. You take it from
Yeah.
the religious aspect of it,
Yeah.
right? And if whether you're a Muslim or whether you're a Christian, have you gotten the message of the book that you're reading? Are you
Agreed.
following the faith that you so called follow? Because if that would be so, neither side would be doing what they are doing to each other right now, whether they were a Christian, whether they were Jewish, or
Mhm.
if they were following the messages of the prophets, this wouldn't be
Yeah.
happening. So let's take that out of context. If they took all the politics out of it, but now you've got our president who's going full in, standing behind Israel and what they're doing, right?
Mhm.
Is this a humanitarian? Is this because Palestine is not a so-called democracy? Is this because we are aligned with Israel because Israel is basically a military base for us, strategically placed within the Middle East? And is it because we give them a whole lot of money? I'm
I
just
think
there's a
think
lot of
those.
aspects. There's a lot of aspects when it comes to the media that we're seeing here in the United States about this issue is that we're
Mhm.
pro-Israel.
Mhm.
Honestly, I can't see myself as pro-Israel. For one, it was Palestine before it was Israel, and what happened to them, what the United
Yeah.
Nations did. What was that? 1949. They basically
Yep.
took their land.
40, I think it was 47, something like that.
47.
And
Yep,
then,
47.
like, the very interesting part about the component of religion, which is the one that you mentioned first, which I want to
Hmm.
talk about first, it's very interesting, right? That when we analyze sometimes the attitude that we get on any given sector, right, is that they are both fighting, right,
Hmm.
a earth realm based fight for a fight that they don't even believe that is going to be everlasting in the realm that they're fighting it at.
Right.
Because when you analyze all of their structures, usually they're obsessed with the ends of times or the concept of when we go to heaven.
Right.
Which again, I'm not criticizing any particular view of that anybody
Right.
can hold about heaven. But it's very interesting how, in the name of trying to talk about the ends of times and the heavens, they neglect the responsibility that we have while we are here on earth. And that is an extreme and a very right an extreme
Yeah.
fact. I have a hard time uh, again, and I'm not necessarily exposing my own view, but I have a hard time consuming the idea that a being that exists outside of reality and that can see outside of space time has such an obsession for a piece of dirt or land that it's on a blue dot located in the solar system in the Milky Way galaxy when we have all this other space that we don't even start to comprehend and know about. A being that magnificent concentrated in a in basically a grain of sand, right?
Mhm.
Perspective wise, it's incongruent, it's incoherent. Now that comes to the idea of the interpretation of the followers. um there is there is an element, right, in which again people are obsessed about determining the end of times, especially and particularly, which this one I can speak to, it's in the Christian church. They're all obsessed about if this is this the end of time, right?
Right.
That's the big question being phrased not only in sermons and right and in small gatherings and meetings and Bible studies. It's also posted all over social media because it's the obsession that people come to know about, right?
Right.
And here is the problem that I have in the conversation that I had with my mom.
So for let me just interrupt real quick. So
yeah,
when you're talking about the end of times, there's a prophecy. There's a prophecy, and people are wondering if this is the prophecy coming
of the second coming. The second coming of
coming,
Jesus, right? And specifically in that point, because if you talk to people that are more obsessed about the apocalypse, there's a whole process and a whole timeline and a whole interpretation. But yeah, it's about the idea of the second coming of Jesus Christ. And the problem is that we have been trying to say that Jesus is gonna come over, right? All the time. Anything that seems like a national disruption that somehow can get fitted or molded into an idea, oh, that's the second coming. And people believe, or people get complacent, that because it's the second coming, that you don't have a social responsibility. And that is dangerous. I'm talking about the Christian world, but that view can be expanded to a lot of religious views and a lot of interpretations. The part that becomes more dangerous is when you are detached from the responsibility that you have, regardless of the second coming, or regardless of the of the renew or the renovation of the earth or whatever. We as human beings, by any given faith framework, are not exempt from the responsibility to advocate for peace and for life.
Right.
And that is where I think a lot of people are missing the mark in regards to Israel, right? Is that in the condemnation of acts against the humanity, right? And against what makes us society, people are not willing to condemn because they hide behind the idea of, well, it's part of the times of what's to come. Politically, right? Why the United States argues in such a fervent effort. I will admit that I am less educated on that part, right? Because I would admit that national politics, right, in the bigger scale of the world, I fall very short. I will say the following. Regardless of how we feel about the current president, right, about how Joe Biden is doing his job, there is one part of the scrutiny that he has never been left off the hook, right? And is the idea of what he does and doesn't do. And again, regardless of how we feel about him, or regardless if you voted for him or not, you have to admit that that's one of the things that it keeps coming up a lot in the news and in the media. So I would, I can understand when they take a position like they take, right? Because they have a whole statistical analysis that they have to do as to see to, one, how many people they can appeal to, and two, what are the commitments done in the past in regards to the future, right? The beautiful part about not having a king, or the experiment of not having a king, is that the country itself exists as a living organism. And it doesn't matter who is at the top, right, at the presidency at any given time, right? The person can hold a value, the person can have an outlook, and a person can have an idea. But if the presidency, if that chair, if that head of state makes a commitment in X or Y particular context, that chair has to respect sometimes those commitments, regardless of the value that the person holds. Of course, that brings its dangers. We can talk about, there's a whole conversation about how, for example, you see a phenomenon like Trump interrupting some of those elements, putting into question, right, our ability to hold our democracy. We can have a whole conversation about, right, if they make the right commitments or not based on what information that they made. Those are valid conversations and questions, right? And again, I'm not an expert, but I'm pretty sure that we can find, in this vast network that we have, we can find an expert to talk about that very much in a much better scenario. But it does not surprise me that the comments made by the administration, by the current administration, respond to A, some commitments made in the past, and B, in a large scale picture about the world. Well, they're going to respond into that, right? So
Right.
I think,
Well,
I think,
and from the talking points that I hear, it's because, for one, they're our ally, and for two, it's to preserve democracy, right?
yeah, absolutely, absolutely.
It's
I
to
think,
preserve democracy. But the thing is, isn't that kind of hypocritical, since one of our
of course,
allies is Saudi Arabia, right?
of course,
Saudi
it's
Arabia is
totally
one of
different.
our allies, and they're not a democracy.
There is a saying in Puerto Rico that, in Spanish, I don't know how it would be best translated, but right,
No.
the idea is that the person who made the law also wrote the, the cheat book. Does that make
Yeah, the
sense?
cheat code. Yeah,
The cheat code. Yeah. So, um, of course, there's always going to be a hypocritical element. I think more than hypocritical than having allies that are not democracies by any, they're not functioning democracies. I think the biggest hypocritical point is that in the body of government that was headed by the United States, which is the UN, Israel has taken away land that when it was divided, and again, I'm not entering into the subtleties that it was done through a colonialism outlook. I'm not entering into that, which is a
hmm
valid conversation. It is a
yes,
valid conversation.
right,
But regardless of that, there was an agreed upon sharing of the land, right? And
right.
Israel has violated those borders.
hmm
That's a fact. That is not a suggestion. That is not a if I wanted to. That is a stated fact in the UN.
right.
And the hypocritical part is that nobody has called into accountability to those elements. Again,
Yeah, and
we ought to, we ought to
that adds
plan
fuel
on
to
that
the
side.
fire. That
Agree.
adds fuel to the fire that's already in place. And like I said, there's always two sides to a story, but it seems as if the mainstream media is painting
Mhm.
Palestine as, a terrorist network when it's not. Like, it was a terrorist act that
I
happened.
I think when the framework, right, or the language that is being used is something like the 9/11 for Israel, the analog, the analog of 9/11, or a proxy for 9/11 in the Israel setting. It's a hard element to navigate. The conjunctions of emotions felt during that time, right?
It's a great selling
And
point for war, though.
I
Yeah.
agree, but
It's a great selling point for war.
if you can make the case, anything will be a sell point for war, if you will, right?
Right.
Anything can be a selling point. But I'm sorry.
What are you going to
Um,
say? Sharif was going to say
yeah,
something.
That's been going on since 1948.
Well, it's been going on for a long time. You
Yeah.
go way back to the
after,
Crusades, and
yeah,
Right
I think it.
now they having a war with the 1,200 people from Israel got killed, and 14 Americans so far.
Yeah, yeah.
So
No,
is this going on because of the 1994 policies?
1949 policies. Yeah.
I
So what
think.
he said was, there's been some people are not holding to their word when it comes to that or what happened
That is
back then.
correct.
There's more land grabs by Israel that shouldn't have occurred.
I would actually argue. I would post it since you brought it up. On YouTube, Vox Media has a 3-part documentary talking about the settlements of Israel in Palestine land, in Palestine, right? And taking away
Mhm.
land from the Palestine. I think everybody should watch it. And again, trying to be as transparent as I can. Vox Media is more of a liberal media, right? So I want to put that out there for everybody to know, but they do make a good investigation or layout as to how this right, how this settlements look like, how it's being advertised. And there are some legit I can find them and put them in the chat for everybody to benefit, because I think it's part of
Yeah,
a
that'd be
good
great.
discussion of
Right.
MSNBC, CBS, and again Vox Media talking about the whole context about it, right? And again, CBS and MSNBC, right, center, left, Vox Media more left than the other two,
Yeah.
but those ground you in an idea of what's going on, because I think the point being made here, right, is that this has cost not only for the Israelites 1,200 dead, and I think the last numbers that I saw, and somebody please correct me if I'm wrong, if I'm mixed citing, I'm not citing correctly, but I think the totals of injured was 4,000, and
Mhm.
on the Palestine side it was 1,200 dead too, and 6,000 something
Yeah.
people
But
injured.
it's got to be much more than that.
More
The
than
way that
likely, more than likely.
more than likely they're shelling Palestine like
Yeah,
they're hammering them hard. Not only that,
there
you
is.
got to understand that they cut off the water, the
Yeah, they
electricity,
did.
and
Which
no
again
gas.
it's a crime of war. Again, the
Right.
settlements and the
Exactly.
actions, that those are not if, those are facts. Doing that is it's a crime. It's a war crime.
Right.
And somebody should be held accountable. Not to say that the United States has committed, endless its own share of elements that they have to be held accountable. And again,
Mhm.
it's a valid point. It's a valid conversation. Not the same conversation though, right?
Right. Now, originally, this was about people's interpretation of what was promised land for the Jewish people. The Jewish people, since the beginning of time, entitled to some degree because they are chosen people. It has been and always been about religion. Yeah, but why are they no longer there? Is because they had the Jewish people had a they had a covenant. They broke that covenant. They went away from the law that they were supposed to do. And so if they didn't, they would still have it. If correct me if I'm wrong. Correct me if I'm
No,
wrong.
again, there that is again the religious lens and perspective that we're using, which is again part of the conversation, right?
Mhm.
My approach tries to more land on the social and political aspects of it,
Right.
right? That there were some covenants made in terms of the division, regardless of the religious view that anybody, again, is entitled to. I'm not denying that anybody is entitled to look at a perspective of religion. But the
Mhm.
approach that I give is that there's a social and political context to all of this, and that those compromises in the context that they were done were not observed. And there are some injustices being made in that element that has brought us to this boiling point, because like it was mentioned, it's always about religion, right?
Mhm.
Religion has always existed. The oldest settlement that we have is 10,000 years old, and we have identified religious observations in those caves and in those settlements, right?
Yep.
But what allow us to divide in the society that we now know and operate in has expanded from that only glass or that only view into more complex elements that, again, sometimes they bring conflict onto themselves because they don't see each other, right? Political and social, not always going to look eye to eye. But our experience and our understanding and our tools and resources should try to bring a balanced view of all of the elements, right? Brought into that reality. So I think that's, again, not saying that it's false what it was said. It's always been about religion. In this particular context that we're talking about, in the particular point in history that we're at, there are more elements than religion added or attached to that discussion.
Right. That's why I said in the beginning of that conversation is that if they were to hold to the religion and the prophets that they both believe in, right? The prophets that they both believe in, they wouldn't be doing this to each other. But yeah, it's like let's get to Greg's
Art's first. Art was first. He had a second one.
He said, "Oh look, the Jewish people many times over looked away from their God. In today's world, the fact that is a fact that needs to be a large contributing factor on what decisions are made moving forward." Greg says, fighting over land. Who should own what for power purpose goes back to the land was taken from the Indians, right? We as Americans get involved with too much and should focus more on what happens here. When will black people get the land owed to them? 40 acres and a mule he's talking about. When will you give back the land to the Indians? What are we going to do about the homelessness increasing while housing prices and greedy landlords are putting people on the streets? It's fine to have support for a country, but support home first. See, he makes a valid point. The same thing that's happening over there, we don't realize is happening right here in our own backyard.
Right here,
people are losing their homes to huge investment groups. Prices of housing has gone up because rich people or bankers are buying these single family homes. What is it? We're being worried about them leave us vulnerable to others attacking us.
If I may respond, because I think the point Greg was it right that he brought in, it is a valid point. It is a valid point. But when you read Yuval Harari's *Sapiens*, right, the history of the humankind from the evolution or conception of evolution up to the society that we know today, there is a theme that he threats that it's very important to know. That home, yes, it's an important aspect of what we feel and what we live and what we experience, right? Home is where we're at. But in today's society, we have developed an interconnectivity and an interdependency that to say that what happens over there doesn't affect me, it's a false narrative in an interconnected world. Again, those problems are real. I should know. I'm trying to get a house and I can't find how to do it. It is true. And again, in the spectrum of age here, I think I land on the younger side. Like my check engine light does not turn on yet, and my part can be recovered. Like on like Troy, where he has to, ask for special parts for his body. I'm teasing Grandpa.
They're on back order.
All that to say, right, is that we can, being those problems being true and those necessities being true, they are not alienated from the perspective of what's going on around on the world. And we cannot fall into the trap of thinking that our own problems, right, and the problems that we have at home are not also affected by what's going on out there. If we do that, we land on and again, to respect to anybody that can listen to this, we land on the same worldview of the MAGA cult, in which so hardline is driven the point of home that we forget that an out world exists and we interact with it. And I use MAGA because we're in the US, but I can tell you multiple examples in Latin America and in the Caribbean, where in Puerto Rico we have the issue about insularism, which is the idea that our problems are our own and they have nothing to do with the outer bounds. We have a huge problem with that in Puerto Rico, is that we have to see ourselves in the bigger, broader community, because whatever happens at the other side of the world, it is going to affect Puerto Rico. And it does not exonerate Puerto Rico from, or, exempts it from its own domestic problems. But its own domestic problems have to be viewed in the context of the broader world, right? So I think both things can be true. I think my only comment here is that we be careful not to land on one side, because we are going to miss a huge perspective of the other.
Very, very well said, my good friend.
Very well said.
Yeah, we took up the whole show with that one.
Oh my God!
Yeah, no, that's quite all right. Time just flies. So let's get this. Let's lighten up the mood a little bit, and let's talk about Will and Jay.
Well, I'm going to say this here. Okay, now they're talking about Chris asked Jada out when he found out that they were on the out. So now I'm seeing that's where the slap came in. And then I think she's just making him look like a total wuss. He's a pussy. Excuse me, Mom. Sorry, Mom. He's a pussy. What you think, Sharif?
About what?
Okay, Jada said that her and Will, they've been separated for 7 years.
Yeah. I mean, that's their personal lifestyle, but they've been going at it for years. It's almost like it's entertaining,
Is it, that's a good point, Sharif. Is it personal? Is it really personal if you put it out public?
I mean, it's personal, but it's like, they put it out in the public, but at the same time, Will came out. Remember, what's his name? Rock came out, so the slap came out, all that extra. But it's personal. That's their business. To me, that's how I think.
Greg is crazy.
Jada is a hoe for the street. Anyone can hit it if you got the right swag. Okay, Greg.
Listen, I think the Will and Jada situation heavily warns us of to how much we need to promote mental health. We need to get on your show, guys. BetterHelp to sponsor you.
That would be great.
That is a real need. That's that. I think it's also very. I'm gonna be honest. Again, being a man, I err on the side of the man. It's like,
right.
This woman needs to get her thing in check.
Yeah.
Right. Because that's for. And this may flare up some comments, and I hope it makes for good content. But for the gender being talking about the idea that men should be more emotionally in tune, sometimes the exposition that you have does not want me to be emotionally in tune, because you're exposing me in the incorrect way.
Right.
And again, it could be that she doesn't have the resources or the material to handle her emotions. Fine, fantastic. But we all saw what happened at the Oscars in a moment that was important for his life. And again, she can say that they're not together since 2016, but regardless, this man left everything in the door for a reaction that now you're going to deny. You're going to deny responsibility. You're going to deny what you did to incite. So, no, all of that to say that this woman crazy.
I'm telling you, that lady crazy. Something wrong with her.
Yeah, she wants to make his life a living hell.
Man, that's crazy.
Art says, he says, #1 purchaser of Idiotbox merch this coming week gets a special one-time only care package of Idiotbox salsa with bonus pickled jalapenos. Ooh, and they are good.
You guys need to make. I was gonna put going back to the conversation about salsas. I was gonna say, if you guys have video of you guys trying the salsas, you should post a review for all of us, because not everybody gets that experience of the most organic and most down to earth, right, experience of the salsa, and you need to make the world jealous, or you know, whatever it goes. But you guys should post a review of them and you trying the salsas and describe it for everybody.
Great idea. I think we'll do that Saturday.
I'm gonna do that
Saturday. Great idea.
Go get me some lime chips, and I'm gonna be right on time.
Well, does Ryan recommend any particular chips? Because you said, you know,
lime chips. So chips.
But what would he recommend? Because he make the salsa. So
yeah, what would you recommend, Art?
Yeah, what would you recommend, Art? He would love that. So what kind of chips, Art? Because I usually just get some Tostitos with a hint of lime. That's what I like.
Yeah, we'll see what Art.
Tostitos.
Art just gets a spoon and just shovels it in. That's what I did earlier today.
That's the most neutral flavor that you're gonna get. Like, you know, doesn't get more than that. But
I just took a spoonful and shoveled it in. But yeah, Saturday I think me and Drummer and Sharif will get together and do a taste testing on the Idiotbox salsa. Especially
any restaurant style chip. He said any restaurant style chip.
Okay.
So there you go.
So we thank you for coming on. We haven't seen you in a while.
Man, thanks for coming on.
Absolutely, guys. Thank you for having me.
Appreciate you.
Love to have you on, man. We do. You raise everybody's IQ by 0.5 when you come on the
Idiotbox. What? Man.
All right. Go ahead, Sharif. Do your thing.
Yeah, I want to say thank you for coming on. Yeah, I've been around.
Absolutely. Thank you.
I appreciate you. That was a really interesting story about the war. You know, yeah, we all need to pray for the war, you know, and the war. You know, and I want to say thank you for watching 110 episode. Come on, next week. I'll see you next week with 111.
111.
That's it.
Good night, y'all. Peace.
Good night. Peace.
We're in a lot of trouble because less than 3% of you people read books. Listen to me. Television is not the truth. Television is a goddamn amusement park. Television is a circus, a carnival, a traveling troupe of acrobats, storytellers, dancers, singers, jugglers, sideshow freaks, lion tamers, and football players. We'll tell you anything you want to hear. We lie like hell. We'll tell you any shit you want to hear. We deal in illusions, man. None of it is true. You're beginning to believe the illusions. This is mass madness, you maniac. In God's name, you people are the real thing.